Hello and welcome to our open house tour for J.C. McKenna Middle School. I am Joni Dobbs, the principal here.
And I'm Demmin, the Dean of Students at J.C. McKenna Middle School.
And we wanted to start here at this sign because it's actually a reclaimed sign from the old building. Before you had seen it on First Street, and now we are on Liberty Street, which leads us to our staff parking and also our event entrance.
And as we go through the tour today, keep in mind there's multiple things that were reclaimed from our old building that you'll see as we go through and look at different parts of the building.
And now you'll see that we are at the events entrance. So this would be the area that when we are able to host volleyball games and basketball games and music concerts and such, that people would be able to come in through this entrance. Second Street is over here and Liberty is behind here.
We're also where the buses come in to drop off and pick up students. It's a much safer situation now because there's much less traffic and it's a more controlled situation. As you go around and look at the outside of the building, you'll also see our security cameras, which give us access to every area around the building.
And here we are at our beautiful playground space. We've got a lot of additional playground space for our students. Just to orient you according to where we are in the building, this is 2nd Street behind us. This area here will be green space. This was formerly what we had always referred to as the battlefield. So we're excited to see some kids playing some soccer and football out there when we get some grass. Moving along, you can see we've got a bunch of four squares painted on. Basketball hoops are up and ready for our students. As you continue this way, our green space is coming in extremely well. We've got a backdrop there for softball games and for our PE classes to be able to use as well.
The thing we're most excited about is it really gives a lot of room to let our kids spread out, enjoy their lunch, and have a lot of options and places to be active.
And one additional thing that we added this year, we painted on some areas for volleyball for kids too, because that was something that we noticed was very popular the last couple of years outside. So giving them that opportunity. And thank you to the PTO. They just helped us purchase a 9-square game that we'll be able to put out here as well. So the kids are going to, like Mr. Demmin said, have more options out here and have some more flexibility as to how they're going to spend their recess time and their PE time. And here we are. This is First Street. This is known as our main entrance for J.C. McKenna Middle School. Right around here is our student drop-off and pickup area, which is nice because, as Mr. Demmin said, the flow of traffic is different, which allows for our kids and students that are walking to school to come this way, dropped off by parents or family. They dropped off here and it's separated from the buses.
Safety aspect is a lot better because people don't have to cross any streets and they can immediately go right into the area where they wait in the mornings.
And then with the design, it allows them to exit to turn onto First Street, or that they can continue right through School Street, so there isn't traffic congestion there either.
We've now entered the building, and as you can see, we are standing in the vestibule, which would be the first area for someone who's entering the building through the front. One of the great things about this is there's multiple security checkpoints and ways to control flow into the building. If a parent needs to drop something off, they can do that right through the window to Miss Berry without even having to come into the building. It works very well, and it's all monitored by video as well.
And here we are in our beautiful cafeteria. You don't really get a feel for the space unless you're in here to see how grand and grandiose it is. We have this huge wall of windows along the side to allow for natural lighting. We do have shades that can control that lighting for us as well. As you can see, we've got some 6th graders coming in for lunch. So the servery is located over here to our left for them to get some choices for lunch. And then due to the size of our cafeteria, we're able to have our grade level in here all at a time. We've divided them up in half actually, but it allows for us to space kids out so that they have an opportunity to eat and do that with their cohort.
And as you can hear, it's a warm, inviting place. You can hear the laughs and the giggles from some of our students right now as we're making the video.
Okay, as you can see here, we have a bunch of wayfinding signs in the building as well. This is meant to mimic a street sign. So you can see that where the neighborhoods are, those are our grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Athletics moving to that way. Other side it says perform and music way. And then to the backdrop, you can see the learning stairs where kids can go and with their classes or on their own if they needed to or wanted to be able to do some additional study skills or whatever it may be, or meeting with a group. And then the backdrop of that is a schematic picture of Evansville. It's meant to be a map representation. So it turned out beautifully. And here we are in our beautiful new band room. You can see the size is fantastic. Outside of each of the walls here, there's a lot of storage for student instruments, so they can all have a personal space to put instruments, along with all the storage on top for instruments that are owned by the school district. In addition to that, the musical, acoustical tile and ceiling, or also the clouds they call them, are here as well as in the chorus room. And then between each here, so our choir room is on the right. We have an ensemble room that connects the two rooms, practice rooms, storage spaces, offices, and then another practice room.
Okay, here we are in our chorus room. As you look around, you can see the acoustical tiles on the ceiling as well as on the walls. We also have a lot more space. There's also technology for teaching and adding to that. You can see it's a real warm, inviting place. It almost makes me feel like singing, but I think I'll spare you all that.
Welcome to our new gymnasium. The best part about our gymnasium is that we are able to fit all of our students in here, so if we needed to have a presentation, we could do so because we do have enough seating for that. Additionally, we can put down this curtain, and that will allow us to be able to hold practices here, so we don't need to travel all of our kids over to the intermediate school for every sport that we had done in the past. So we can do volleyball here, we can do basketball here. It is a full-size court, high school court, so we could hold some competitions here if we needed to as well.
The other thing, as a former phy ed and health teacher, that really impresses me with this is the amount of learning stations we now have. In the past gym, we had one, and now we have multiple. With the fitness center, the curtain that can come down, you now have at least 3 different learning areas, so it makes differentiation and that the ability to do more than one unit at a time, which is something we had not had in the past.
Along with that, we do have a large projection screen that comes down on this wall, so not only being able to use that for presentations, but our phy ed teachers can use that for their education in their classes as well. As we had talked about earlier, we said you would find some of the things from the old building into our new building, and this is a beautiful example of that. All of these boards here are reclaimed bleacher boards, and you can see we left the bottom 2 as what were the bottom line of the gym in the previous building. Additionally, we have beautiful display cases, which we will be filling with artwork, and we have a projection TV that we can run announcements and things as well. As we walk through this area, if you want to kind of cam to the side, this is what's going to take us into our neighborhoods, with 6th grade floor being on the bottom, 7th grade, and then 8th grade above that.
Anyone who's ever been in J.C. McKenna, the older building, would recognize these tiles right away. My very first time in the school, it was one of the first things I recognized. One of the cool features here is we've now brought those tiles and incorporated them into the new school as well through this beautiful display case. We have now moved down the hall into our 6th grade resource area. As you can see, there's a lot of room for kids to spread out. It's a great setup because they can walk right out of the classroom and have an area to work, one-on-one instruction, collaboration with other subject areas. All of that can happen right here in our 6th grade neighborhood resource area.
And each of the floors are set up primarily the same way, with when you first come into the neighborhood, the first classroom being a classroom that 6th, 7th, and 8th graders would utilize throughout the school year. So in 6th grade, you would see the health hallway, or the health classroom. And then we move on to math, social studies. You would see in the background there's our lockers, and then both of our ELA classrooms on either side of this window. And then I'm a little bit partial to this classroom because this used to be my classroom as a 6th grade science teacher prior to getting my admin degree. So come look at this amazing space. So this amazing space is our 6th grade science classroom, and then the 7th and 8th grade, like I said, is right above it. It's an amazing space for our kids to be able to do labs and do materials, and I often give Mr. Vasquez a hard time saying how jealous I am of this space.
One of the other cool aspects of our new building are our hallways. Just walking down the hallway, you can see they're very inviting, well lit up. This hallway is one of my favorites because I can walk past, see exactly what's going on in the gym, and everybody is able to see what other kids are doing.
And here we are in the area that we have termed as the loft. The library is behind the camera, and you can see we have this beautiful overlook of the cafeteria space. So this is a nice space for kids to come in and to be able to get a different learning area and to be able to sit with a couple of friends as well as have some flexible seating.
Chairs are very comfortable as well.
And here we are in our library, or our LMC. You can see that we have thousands of titles of books that are in here. All of our bookcases are on casters, so it allows for some flexibility for this large area. The circulation desk is found in the far back for students to be able to go and check out their equipment that they need, or technology and such. The loft area is to the left. All of these windows here are sliding doors, so we can open that up and kids can utilize that space back and forth.
It really opens up and makes it an even more inviting environment for people to read and learn in.
And then under the windows, it may be kind of hard to see, but there are some bench seats located in strategic places as well for students to be able to sit and enjoy a book as well.
In the staircase, one of the things I wanted to highlight here was each grade level then has their marking on the outside of their floor. The other cool area about this is it's well inviting, lit up. It feels like it flows with the building real well.
Now we'd like to welcome you to our business classroom. Right now, Mrs. Mum has the 6th graders. We start all the 6th graders in here. And as you can see, it's a beautiful setup for all of our students to learn technology and to learn about ways to incorporate different programs on the computers. We have the projector and whiteboard in every single classroom, and this space is also utilized by 7th and 8th graders throughout the year as well. And here, this space we wanted to show you, this is a special education classroom, and it allows for privacy, as you can see with the screen, but it also allows for us to open up this space. So when we have larger groups of students, they can come out here and work as well as work inside of the classroom. The last part of the tour today that we wanted to show you is our tech ed space. As you can see, there's a lot of action verbs throughout the building. So our last one that I wanted to show, it says fabric me. And that's exactly what we're able to do here in this space. The first classroom that you're able to see is the computer space. And then further from that is the area that students will be working in the shop area. Unfortunately, right now, that space is not available completely to students because it is still being utilized by the JP Cullen crew.
Here we are in our main office. So we had walked in and started our video on the inside with the vestibule behind me. Again, one of the common themes, the bleacher board from the old building in the old gym now makes up part of our beautiful sign that greets you as you walk into our office.
One of the other things from a student perspective, as parents are coming in, they can utilize the sliding window here to talk with Ms. Berry. Students also have that opportunity over here with Mrs. Jorgensen's desk. So if they need something from the office, they don't necessarily need to come into the space. They're welcome to, but they can use that sliding door. And then down this longer hallway is where you would find my office, Mr. Demmin's office, a conference space, break room and work room over here, and our health room and our nurse's office. So everything that we need is in one small area here, which is fantastic to have everyone together.
We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed putting it together. We're very proud of what we have here at Jason McKenna, and we hope you are as well.
Thank you to staff and community school board, JP Cullen, Bray Architects for helping us to design this building, something that will be with our community for many, many years to come and be a great source of pride for all of us.
Thanks, everybody.